There is a new AI model released last week that's revolutionizing how computers see the world. And get this, it's surprisingly small. Forget those massive resource hogging AI giants. A new contender has entered the ring and it's punching way above its weight. And it's again developed by the most trending company in AI space right now, DeepSeek, and it's open source. We are talking about DeepSeek VL2 in this video. We are diving deep into why this small AI is making a big impact on visual understanding. Get ready to have your mind blown. DeepSeek VL2 is an advanced series of mixture of experts vision language models building upon its predecessor DeepSeek VL. This model series includes three variants: DeepSeek VL2 Tiny, VL2 Small, and VL2 with 1 billion, 2.8 billion, and 4.5 billion activated parameters respectively. So what is DeepSeek VL2? In simple terms, it's a visual language model. Think of it like this: you show it a picture or a video and it can understand what's in it and describe it in words, answer questions about it, and even reason about it. Pretty cool, right? But here's the kicker. DeepSeek VL2 is remarkably small. We are not talking about those gigantic AI models that need supercomputers to run. This model is designed to be efficient and accessible, meaning it can be deployed on devices with limited resources. Now you might be thinking, small model, does that mean small performance? Absolutely not. That's where DeepSeek VL2 truly shines. Even their tiny model, which can run under 8 GB VRAM, gives comparable performance if we compare it with leading models like 4o and Sonnet 3.5. This is simply huge, guys. You can download the model right now and run in your own machines. Its performance is competitive, often achieving state-of-the-art results with fewer activated parameters compared to existing models. And I think it is a godsend model for browser-based AI agents which love vision models. Let's try running the tiny version of the model on our low-end system with an RTX 3060 with 12 GB VRAM and a 32 GB system RAM. Let's see how it performs. So guys, this is the repository for VL2 where they have released all the three models and they have showcased the comparative performance with Quen and Intern family, as well as you can see the number of parameter it is using for similar kind of performance is so less. They have also released a sample implementation of VL2 small, but it is running on a 0 instance, but this model is slowly getting viral, so you are not able to access it here. So to overcome this, what we'll do is we'll run this small application on our local system. But the DeepSeek VL2 small requires 40 GB of VRAM and the full model requires 80 GB of VRAM, and that would require a high-end GPU, but we have only 12 GB of VRAM in our 3060 RTX. So what we'll do is we'll copy the same code and then just in the code we'll replace it with VL2 Tiny. So what we'll do is we'll click on this button and then click on clone repository, and then we'll copy this repository link and then we'll open our Visual Studio, and then you have to go to this search bar and then click on search and run commands and then search for git clone command. And now it is asking for the URL for the repository. We'll paste the link that we had copied earlier and we'll press enter. Now it will ask for a path where do we want our repository to be created. Let's create a new folder for this, DeepSeek VL2 local, on select as repository destination. Now it will start cloning the repository for us. Now it is asking whether we want to open the clone repository. We'll click on open. So now you can see all the files which were there in the repository are here available in our local directory. So this code also includes paper that they have released with the model. So you can see even the tiny model which we'll test right now gives comparable performance to top models like 3.5 Sonnet, 4o and 1.5 Pro. In OCR bench, all of these models are trumping all of these leading models. So this means that this is a quite good model for building OCR based applications. Now this particular application, it requires Python 3.9 to run successfully, because I tried running it with 3.12 but it did not work. So let's download Python 3.9. I've already installed, but you can install it in a directory. Now another important thing is to set your terminal. So again, go to here, just search for terminal, and once you have done that, just go to this terminal menu and then click on new terminal. First, what we'll do is we'll install a virtual environment library called virtual env. It is a good practice to install all the dependencies of the application in a virtual environment instead of installing it directly in your system. So what we'll do is we'll install the virtual env first, and it will install the virtual environment for you. Once that is done, we'll have to define a virtual environment for us. We'll say virtual env, deep env, and we'll have to specify the Python version as well. Copy the path of Python 3.9 which you had installed earlier. We'll also mention python.exe, and then we'll close the code. So what it will do is it will create a virtual environment, should be virtual env. So what it will do is it will create a virtual environment with Python version 3.9. It will ask you that if you want to select it for the workspace folder, click on yes. Now, once the environment is created, now what you would want to do is activate this environment. For that, you have to just enter the environment's name that you had created, and then enter backslash scripts activate. Once that is done, your environment is activated. Now here we can install all the dependencies that we have. Now next step is to install all the dependencies that we have in the requirements.txt, but again there is an issue. The torch version which is mentioned here, it is not correct. We'll remove it and we'll install the torch dependencies at the end separately. So let's install the dependencies in our virtual environment using pip install. We'll read the requirements.txt and install everything. It will take a while because there's so many libraries which are there. So we'll wait for it to complete. Now we have to install the torch libraries which we had removed in the requirements.txt. So we'll install them separately in our environment. So we have to run this command, and I'll share this command in the video description as well. So this will install the torch with CUDA enabled, which is required for GPU based models. You can see it's a 2.7 GB library which was not installed earlier, and now it will install. Now our torch libraries are installed. One more thing that we need to do is we need to make a change in our app.py. So you can see here it is DeepSeek VL2 small. We'll change it to tiny from small. So let's change it and save it. So now our packages are successfully installed. Let's try running our app.py. Center Python app.py. Now it's saying that it could not find one of the modules called spaces. It was not there in the requirements.txt. So let's install that as well. Let's enter pip install spaces. Let's ensure that our environment is activated, and let's run our application. If you're running the application for the first time, it will download the VL2 tiny model as well. Since it is already downloaded for me because I had done this earlier as well. So 6 GB download, so you might have to wait for a while. Now you can see it has started the application on this URL. We'll just press Control and then click on this. Now you can see our application. So guys, you can see our own local DeepSeek VL2 tiny is ready, although it says small because we are using the application built for small, but it is the tiny model which is working on our local system. And I have prepared certain tests for each category. So first category is the visual question answering, which will tell us how well the model can interpret and answer questions about any type of image. First, we'll show it an image of a kitchen. And this is the image where certain objects prepared, but you can see the colors of the objects are so similar. So let's see if it is able to identify the objects. So first question that we'll ask it is, how many cups are on the table? So it is able to recognize there are 4 cups on the table, which is 1, 2, 3. And it has identified this as also this transparent one as also a cup. Let's ask another question. What is the color of the refrigerator? Let's see. It is answered it to us. The refrigerator is light blue in color. Let's give it another image, which is of people reading at the park, and let's see how it interprets. And every time we'll generate a new conversation so that there is no so that context is always refreshed. So let's see what it how it answers. It is able to answer the people are reading books. Let's again ask a question: is it likely summer or winter in the scene, and why? We are testing if it can logically analyze things. Although it is a small model, it doesn't have that much reasoning capabilities, but let's see. So it is suggested that it is summer because the way they are seated and the kind of clothes they are wearing and the gear that they have, it appears that it is summer, which is correct. Let's test for another image, which is a street scene with traffic. This is the image. We'll again click on new conversation. We'll select the traffic image and we'll ask the question: is it rush hour? Now it is giving the answers quite fast. I think the model is successfully loaded. That's why first time maybe the time was it was taking time to load the model. Yes, it appears to be rush hour based on the heavy traffic congestion and the number of pedestrians crossing at once, which is correct. And we can even ask if it will rain soon, although it doesn't appear to be raining. Let's see what it says. It's difficult to determine the weather condition from this single image alone. Okay, so it's saying that it needs more information to give the accurate answer. So it has not hallucinated and not given us some random answer. Let's move to the next test, which is our OCR recognition test. So this is quite significant because if we can run an OCR model with such low configurations, then it would be a game changer for OCR applications. We'll start with the first test. We'll give it a handwritten note and let's see how it answered. This is the handwritten note. So you can see it has all kinds of coloring, highlighters and everything. So let's see it is able to get this. Select it and we'll ask it to extract the text from this image. It has even extracted the double quotes that were there in the word smart. So it is able to do it with pinpoint accuracy. So let's move to the next test where we'll give it a blurred number plate. So this is the image. You can see it is hardly readable. Let's see how it does. Okay, it has successfully given us the number plate which is there. Although it has, I think with it is KK, but it has given it as KF, so it is not that accurate, but still it is able to extract most of the numbers which are there in the number plate. Let's move to the next type of test, which is document understanding. So we'll give it a invoice. So this is a food bill and let's see it is able to answer questions related to it. What is the total amount due? Says 1,315 rupees, which is correct, but it has given us the amount which is without the tax. So maybe it has got influence with this total amount, and we can ask it what is the total amount including tax. Recognize the final amount as well. Okay, so now it has given us the amount correctly. Let's move to the next test, which is a legal document. Can we ask it to scan? So this is the legal document which we are asking it to scan. Let's see, and we'll see what is the start date of the agreement. So it says 8th May 2012. Let's see what there in the document. And yes, it says contract 8th start date is 8th May 2012, which is again correct. Let's ask the second question: who are the parties involved? And it says that it is Mantralaya and empaneled agencies, which is correct because it's Mantralaya here, and then it also talks about empaneled agencies for this item. So these are the two parties. That is not clearly mentioned anywhere, but it is able to infer that after reading the context of the document. Let's move to the next test, table understanding, which is quite useful while we are extracting information from any image. Let's see if it is able to extract the information from a table. It is a table which lists the data about women with breast cancer across different counties. Let's see how it performs in extracting the data. Will say new conversation, will say extract the table in the image. Let's see. It is not missing any information. It has extracted all the rows and columns. Now let's ask another question. What is the value of the Nebraska Medical Center? So Nebraska Medical Center's value is 101. Let's see, it is able to answer that. That is correct, and it has given us additional information that the total patients was 376. Let's move to the next test, which is the most difficult one, which is visual grounding, which tells how models links language to specific parts of the image. You can see this is a fruit, and we'll ask it to identify the apple in it. It has so many objects. Click on new conversation, say point to the apple in this image. It is saying that it is next to the bowl of cereal. Red fruit next to the bowl of cereal is an apple, which is again correct. This is the bowl of cereal. Let's question about another image. We'll give it a crowded street image, and we'll create a new conversation, and then we'll ask point to the person wearing black shorts. This is the image. So this is the woman which is wearing the black shorts. So let's see what it has to say. The person in the black shorts is standing near the center of the image, facing away from the camera. They appear to be walking or waiting for something while holding onto someone's arm with their right hand. The individual has long dark hair that falls past their shoulders and wears a pattern shirt. So it is quite accurate. This is a kitchen cabinet. You can see it has so many objects, and this is the tomato soup, and it is not clearly visible, but let's see if it is able to identify which brand is the tomato soup. And it says Campbell's, which is correct. It is Campbell's, although it is not clearly visible all in the bottom box, but at the top maybe it's slightly visible, and it is able to answer that. You can even ask, can you describe the image? So you can see it is able to identify that it is a well-stocked pantry shelf filled with various food items, and it has listed almost all the items which are visible to it. After testing it with so many questions and use cases, I am quite impressed, because this is a tiny model, and imagine what small and the full model can do. And this changes a lot of things if we talk about applications which can be built using the OCR capabilities and understanding capabilities. You can build so many surveillance application using this. As you can see, it is able to identify the people as well. The potential is unlimited here, guys.